Monday, Coach Joe here, my beautiful wife Melody. What we want to talk about is ankle mobility and how it affects your squat and can lead to you doing what we like to call a twerking squat here at Breakaway. What we're going to show you is the mobilization or the stretch that we like to do. So we'll work these into our regular training sessions with all of our clients to help them work on things that we see most people have issues with. So this is called a half kneeling calf stretch or a half kneeling ankle mobilization. What she's going to do is she's in a half kneeling position. I'm going to hold this joint down. You might not have this luxury all the time. And then bring her knee forward. So we're working on getting her to keep her weight in her heel, but allow her knee to come forward so that this joint can shift into the position we need it to be in almost, or maybe a little bit further than at the bottom of a squat. So we don't want her to be here at the bottom of a squat. We want that joint to change positions and allow her knee to go forward. So if you want to work on your ankle mobility and stop twerking whenever you're squatting, add this into your workouts or do this anytime you want to. You can get into this position and hold it for 30 to 60 seconds or even 2 minutes. And you can add a band to it and pull down. Or you can kind of move the knee around if you're in your workout. Come back up, come back down. If you want to see this in a little bit more detail and kind of find out why we do this, check out our YouTube channel on that link in the video. So let's go ahead and stand up. So thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. So I'm going to give you an example of what a twerking squat looks like. So Melody's going to turn sideways. And she's going to get down into this position that we call the twerking squat. Go ahead, honey. So really what you see here is a really vertical shin. This is great for a deadlift and activation in the hamstrings when we're keeping a bar in close and the bar is not on top of you. If she has a bar on her back and she goes into this position, that bar is here. It's moved way away from her center of gravity, which is right here in her hips, which means the force that she has to absorb and withstand is much greater through here. And it leads to greater degradation or greater breakdown in the spine over time. Now, some people have really long femurs right here. She has fairly long legs. So they do require somewhat of a forward lean to help keep them balanced. We just have to make sure they're strong enough to handle that. But most people we want in a pretty good upright position. So again, she's going to do that twerking squat again. I just want to show you. So she's got that heavy forward lean, and it's also very hard to get deep into a squat on this. So now she comes back up. She's going to show you how to squat the right way, where she shoves those knees out or where she's sort of screwing her feet outwards to activate those hips. And when the knees go out, her butt can actually fit down in between it a little bit better now, and she can stay on her heels a little bit more effectively. We want to make sure that head is in a good position, so we've got a good neutral neck. Remember, the neck is part of the spine, and if we want a neutral spine, the neck is included. So I'm going to get her to kind of squeeze right there, move those shoulder blades. There we go. And then drive back up through those heels. So let's see that good squat again. This is a non-twerking squat right here. Knees are out, dropping down, driving back up, getting tight through those hips. So we started to go into it in the video on Instagram. You know, we're limited to 60 seconds there, and I wanted to be able to expand on this a little bit, so we brought it over to YouTube. So we're going to bring Melody back down into a half kneeling position. This is a mobilization if we're kind of just moving back and forth. It's a stretch if you're going to hold it a lot longer for general purposes. If you notice at the bottom of her squat, can you stand up for me? Let's do that again. When she got down to the bottom of that squat, watch what her knee has to do. Now, she's going to lead with her hips, right? The primary engine is her backside. Go ahead and squat. But at the bottom, the knee does have to translate forward, which means there's a shift in the way the angle of this shin and what happens in this joint. Go ahead and come back up. So a lot of people really struggle with the shift that has to take place in that ankle joint because they walk around in shoes with heel lifts and their calves tighten up. When that knee translates forward and that shift happens, it's a big stretch across here. So if you've got tight or overactive calves, you can foam roll them or you can stretch them. But when you're squatting, you can also add in mobilizations in between to try to get better at your mobility or improve your ankle mobility so that when you get into the bottom of the squat, that knee can shift forward and we can get that difference in angle down here. So in the half kneeling position, this is the mobilization that we like to add in between squats. We call it a half kneeling ankle mobilization, ankle mob, or just a half kneeling calf stretch, depending on who we're talking to. But we're going to keep that heel firmly planted into the ground, and that knee, she's just going to lean forward and get a big stretch. Now you won't feel a massive stretch through here, but I promise you're doing some good. You might feel some pressure here. That's pretty darn normal. A bonus is you get some stretching back here where most people are kind of tight as well. You could hold a foam roller here or a PVC pipe to kind of add to your stability just to help you balance, and then she's going to come back up. So you could do this through holding for 30 seconds, 60 seconds, even up to 2 minutes, depending on how you're going about it. Or you can do sort of a mobilization, which is what we would recommend in between your sets of squats. So that means she's going to come forward, driving that heel into the floor, but getting that big change, and then coming back up. And we would do this anywhere from 5 to 10 times per leg in between sets. Me personally, when I get down here, I like to actually just move my knee around a little bit as long as I can balance and just feel that weight shift and that change of joint angle in my ankle. So that is the half kneeling ankle mobilization. I appreciate you guys moving over to our YouTube channel to check this out. Thank you to my wife, Melody. If you guys have any questions, put them